It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world. Now then, I have some news finally about the Samantha Murphy trial. Now, I think I need to remind you of this case because it feels like it happened so long ago and we've been waiting so long for this trial. And believe me, now we've got to wait even longer. And you know how frustrating that is for us. How is this for the family? I mean, I think it's disgusting. Honestly, I do. This poor family, Samantha's family, her husband Mick and her three children, they've been through enough, and it's excruciating how long they're having to wait to hear why this man, Patrick Orren Stephenson, was arrested really, he's been arrested for murder, but Samantha's body has not been found. He is still not cooperating with the police as to where she is, where he's hidden her. If, allegedly, as the police say that he's murdered her, where is she? Anyway, so this poor family, they don't even know where she is. They've been told that by the police that has been murdered. But they've not been able to bring her remains back, have a funeral for her, say that kind of goodbye to her. It just must be awful. And in the meantime, this case, the actual trial, is dragging on and on, apparently because um, there is an unprecedented amount of evidence against this man, CCTV evidence. So it's been going through court over the last few weeks, well, a couple of months really. And the courts have been deciding, I suppose, what it can be allowed in the trial. These are the pre-trial hearings, have gone on for months. God knows how long the trial's going to go on for. I suppose it's because most of it's going to be circumstantial because they don't have a body. So they're going to have to sort of put everything together, present it in a way that the jury believes that this man did harm to Samantha on that day 2 years ago now. I believe it's 2 years. Let me just try and find the date. Can't remember the exact date. February. Well, it was February. It was February the 4th, but it wasn't last year. It was the year before, wasn't it? Long time ago that this happened. And poor Samantha was doing what, millions of women do every Sunday morning all over the world. She got up in the morning, she cleared up after her dog outside, and off she went on a jog. And this was in Ballarat in Australia. And she went for a jog sort of through what would you call it? The bush? I don't know. Anyway, a trail that she'd ran on many times, and sadly for Samantha, if we believe what the police are saying, allegedly this man, for some reason, was either lying in wait or just came across her accidentally and killed her in what the police have described as a targeted attack. So, not an accident, didn't run her over accidentally with his car because he'd had too much to drink or his motorbike or whatever. The police say it was a targeted attack. They say he's the only person involved. This is the very sort of bare information that the police have given out so far. So anyway, they arrested Patrick a month after this happened. And Patrick Orren Stephenson, he's like the golden balls, he's like the golden boy, all Australian boy. His father played football for is it the NFL? he had every advantage. And he liked going out with his friends. There's videos emerged of him online, which fair enough. I think he was, 22 at the time when this happened. He's out with his mates having a great time. He was taking drugs. But again, it's not uncommon, is it? So many young people, they're out there doing that, putting their money up their nose. So that in itself, obviously, is not, well, it is a crime, probably. I don't know. Is it a crime? I don't know. But it's not, a lot of young people do that, but they don't then go off and murder housewives. Well, she wasn't a housewife. She ran a business together with her husband, Mick. We were out on a run because she was training for a marathon. So what happened? We all want to know. I mean, I don't know if the family know more than us. I hope so. I hope they've been told something more than us because it's very frustrating. We have no clue what the evidence is that pointed to Patrick. We have no clue why he did it, if he did it. What led them to encounter each other on that Sunday morning in Ballarat, you know, such a long time ago. And what led Patrick to do this terrible thing, if indeed he did do it. So, as I say, what's been going on over the last few months? The trial was supposed to start in April. So, what happened? The pre-trial hearings started, but they're still, well, I say they're still continuing. They've literally just finished for now. And that's why I'm able to give you an update because there's been a complete media blackout on these pre-trial hearings. Nobody's been allowed to say anything about them, and even now, we don't know what evidence is being supplied, etc. But finally, they seem to be over with for now. So I have got an article finally to read out to you about this case because it's been so long that we just, when I say a media blackout, a complete media blackout, they the media couldn't even say, oh, Patrick's appearing in court today. We knew he was appearing in court because it's on the court schedules, on the court hearing lists. We could see those. But the media couldn't come on and say, oh, Orren Stephenson, he'll be in court today, blah, 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 blah. So it's been complete media blackout. But now I have got an article that I can read out to you, thankfully, because we want Samantha's name and her face. We want to keep it in our minds. We want to see justice for Samantha. And in the true crime world, there's always other cases, isn't there? That's one thing you know for certain. There's always going to be another case. And for us, they are cases. We get sort of invested in these cases. We care about the victims, but they are cases. Of course, for Samantha's family, there's only one case, and that's this one. This has affected their lives. They're nearly 2 years on now, or a year and a half on, and they'll have found a way to live without Samantha. Of course they will. They'll have had to. They haven't had a choice. But that doesn't mean to say that it's any easier. And I think the sort of, the trial hanging over them and not really knowing what happened and will they ever find the remains of Samantha to be able to lay her to rest? Will Patrick, if he's guilty, ever come clean and say where she is? So, yeah. So, unprecedented volume of evidence compiled for Samantha Murphy murder case, court hears. Patrick Orren Stephenson, 23, has faced court after being charged with murder of missing Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy, who disappeared while on a jog. Well, it says over 6 months ago. It was over 2 years ago. Mr. Stevenson's defence and prosecutors requested a 12-week adjournment. They've done a bit of copy and paste here, haven't they? In order to go through a huge amount of evidence. And can you believe it? Mr. Stevenson will remain in custody until the matter returns to court on November the 14th. November the 14th. I mean, it just seems ridiculous. Another 3 months. Goodness me. Terrible for the family, isn't it? Just terrible. So, apparently, an unprecedented amount of evidence, including extensive CCTV footage, is causing delays in court for the matter of Patrick Orren Stephenson, accused of murdering Victorian woman Samantha Murphy. He appeared before the Ballarat Magistrates Court via video link on Thursday. He wore a white t-shirt. He occasionally glanced around at the empty room he sat in, only speaking to acknowledge he could hear the magistrate on a few occasions. So he was arrested and charged with murdering Samantha in March. Not this March just gone. We're talking about March 2024. More than a month from her disappearance. So Samantha had left her Ballarat East home for a morning run on February the 4th and was reported missing after she failed to return home. I mean, that's just horrible, isn't it? To imagine that, you just go out for a run, your family's probably just, oh, bye, bye. Maybe even didn't say bye. It's such a routine thing, isn't it? And off she went, and then it had come to like an hour later, I suppose, and, maybe Mick or the kids would be saying, oh, where's Mum? She's been a long time, and we're just about to have brunch, because apparently they were about to have brunch. So imagine that feeling that comes over you when you suddenly realise she's left to go for a run, and an hour's gone by. That's when you would expect about. Then an hour and a half goes by. When does it come to the point where you think, hang on a minute, this is scary because she hasn't come back yet? And then I think Mick went out first of all and had a look around before the police were actually called, because you sort of, your head would be saying to you, no, it can't possibly, nothing could have happened to her. But your heart maybe would be sinking, wouldn't it? It'd be sinking. Just awful. So her body has never been found despite several police and community searches, and family of Mr. Stevenson, as well as loved ones of Miss Murphy, turned in online to listen to the hearing. So when I've tuned in to listen to I didn't listen to that one, tune into that one, so I didn't know it was happening. It's all been so secretive. I've seen that Patrick's mum and his girlfriend have been online watching the proceedings. Do they believe in his innocence? Anyway, apparently there's this huge amount of material compiled for the case, and in Thursday's hearing, Magistrate Mark Stratman acknowledged the public interest in the case and that said it needed to move promptly. Well, is November prompt then? Anyway, one of Mr. Stevenson's lawyers, Moya O'Brien, said she was yet to receive the CCTV footage. What? And would need time to review it. Well, you've had 2.5 years, for fuck's sake. Sorry, excuse my French. But what? She's yet to receive the CCTV footage. Honestly, God, I'm a bit speechless with all this. Are they deliberately wasting time? I don't know. It has been described as unprecedented in terms of size. I mean, don't forget they've been talking about doing these pre-trial hearings for 2 months. How come she's only just saying she hasn't received the evidence? So she's now requested at least a 12-week adjournment, a move also supported by the prosecution. This is going to be a mammoth trial when it finally happens. It's going to be like the Orren Stephenson trial, isn't it? Even more longer, probably, because it'll probably be a lot of circumstantial evidence because they don't have Samantha's body. Obviously, they probably don't have CCTV of him actually killing Samantha. So it's going to be a lot of putting together, the digital evidence. Given the huge amount of material to be gone through and taken instruction for Mr. Stephenson, that is an adequate amount of time in our submission, she said. He's also facing charges for a traffic offence, but the details of that are not yet clear. A media application for the charges was also adjourned. So, the media keep making applications to try and find out more, and they keep being denied or it keeps being adjourned. So that's been adjourned till his next appearance, and Magistrate Stratman said there was not enough time to discuss the matter during Thursday's hearing. Why don't they make more time for these hearings? Anyway, he will remain in custody until the matter returns to court on November the 14th. So we won't know any more till then, not only us, of course, but her poor family. November the 14th before we know any more. I think it's disgusting, personally. I really do. And he's supposed to have taken the fast track option. I tell you what, if this is the fast track option, God knows what the slow track option would be. So, unprecedented volume of evidence compiled for Samantha Murphy murder case, court hears. Patrick Orren Stephenson, 23, has faced court after being charged with the murder of missing Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy, who disappeared while on a jog. Well, it says over 6 months ago. It was over 2 years ago. Mr. Stephenson's defence and prosecutors requested a 12-week adjournment. They've done a bit of copy and paste here, haven't they? In order to go through a huge amount of evidence. And can you believe it? Mr. Stephenson will remain in custody until the matter returns to court on November the 14th. November the 14th. I mean, it just seems. So there we are. That's the only update I can give you, but I'm grateful to give some sort of an update. Every day I check to see if there's any news about Samantha's case every single day. Maybe I might forget one day if something else big is going on in other cases, but literally every day or every other day I'm looking to see any news, any developments. This is Mick on here, Samantha's husband. Just don't know how they're coping. So, I hope he's coping okay. I don't know what's happening in his life now, but he's had to step up and, become a mum as well as a dad to the 3 children, 2 of which are teenagers, and one, the son, he is quite young. I'm not going to name them or talk about them, but I hope they're coping okay as well, because it seems like Samantha, was an integral part of the family, as mothers so often are. She was probably, the rock of the family, and she's gone. And also the circumstances of which she's gone, and the fact that there's no resolution yet. Just awful, isn't it? I don't know how the police are communicating with the family, and hope they're supporting them and letting them know what they can let them know. And I really do understand that the integrity of the court case needs to be upheld. But goodness me, this is a long, long time. So November, presuming that the court case gets going properly in November, that will have been, God, what year was it? I mean, honest to God, you just think, what's going on? How can it take so long? Just want to check for sure, because I think it was not last February. It was the February before. And now I'm thinking, oh, she did, yeah, so she disappeared on February the 4th, 2024. So it's 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now. So by the time November comes, we'll be on our way to 3 years. 3 years to bring someone to justice. And you can even look at it from his point of view. He's in custody, he's not going anywhere. So by the time this case comes to court, he'll have spent, 2.5 years in custody. So he's bailed. He's not been granted bail. So I think the police must be pretty certain, for whatever reason, we don't know the reasons yet, but they're pretty certain that he did it, obviously. Otherwise, he would have been bailed, wouldn't he? So, anyway, let me know what you think. At least something's happening, I suppose, but my heart just goes out to this family. I hope they've found a way to cope, to live somehow without Samantha. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for caring about Samantha. I know there's a lot of you. I get quite a few emails and comments, people saying, any news about the Samantha Murphy trial? So, and normally I have to say, no, not yet, no, not yet. But at least there's a little bit of news, even though it's only news, it's been postponed further. So please leave your DNA on the like button, on the subscribe button, maybe share if you feel inclined. Don't forget to press your notification bell. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that have sent Ko-fis, bought Ko-fis, sent super stickers, PayPal'd me, bought merchandise, all become members, all those extra ways as well that people help out my channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Bye.